same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas.
Good morning, my beautiful babies. How are you? It's Monday morning. And welcome to Motivate My Morning with your favorite coach, Sherri Hill. And of course, you guys know you are my favorite morning team. And we are here today to talk about something very important. Over the weekend, our assignment was to, go relax this weekend. Don't take no worries with us. Just get somewhere and just find no fucks to give this weekend. That's what this weekend was all about. And I hope you guys had a chance to do that because I did. I had a beautiful weekend this weekend and had an epiphany. So y'all know I love to share with y'all because I'm a results example girl, because I feel like we live by example. We can change things that we can relate to. So for me this weekend, it was an empowering weekend. I went to Hilton Head Beach this weekend just to get away. I wanted to just get away from the world, from my life, from my hectic schedule, and just go be and get in what I call God's bath water. Okay, we'll get in God's bathtub. And that's what I did this weekend. But I went for it because there was some things heavy on me. I had a lot of situations that was heavy on me that I just wanted to, I always find it very, again, peaceful when I just shut the world off and get into that hermit mode for a few minutes. And so that's what I did this weekend. And I just wanted to come back and share my experience with y'all because it was amazing. Really, really amazing. So I went to Hilton Head and I just had the opportunity to just walk around and just, witness what God had going on and all of this good stuff. And it was beautiful because I had 2 epiphanies this weekend. Okay, there's 2 areas in my life that I've been struggling with, and not necessarily struggling to the point where it was causing me major issues, but it was causing concern. And that's enough for me. Okay, whenever there's concern, I want to get involved and I want to do something about it. So there was 2 areas in my life where I felt like there was some concern and some opportunity for me to change and take a look at some things. And they were romance and finance. Ain't no romance without finance, okay? So those 2 areas for me, romance and finance. And so I want to talk about the hamster wheel this morning, y'all. I want to talk about being on that damn hamster wheel. We talk about it a lot, but I want to break it down this morning. I want to get real serious talking about that damn hamster wheel that we so often ride in life and how we need to learn how to get off of it. Okay, so repeated patterns in our life. How do you know when there's an area in your life that has concern? When you start to see repeated patterns in your life. And those was 2 areas that I started to see repeated patterns in my life. And I said, no, we finna take some time out, Lord. I want to get with you and I want to find out what these repeated patterns are all about so we can stop them. And so went into this introspection period this weekend. And so I noticed that I had a pattern of men who are either unavailable emotionally, married, or in a third-party situation, or just a player and just don't want to be in a monogamous relationship with anybody. And that's what I kept getting in my relationships over and over again. And I was also finding myself with the same behavior pattern in every relationship with these men. In every one of these relationships, I was finding myself trying to show these men how much of a good partner I could be, hoping that it might change their perspective of me. It may make them see what I bring to the table. It may make them want me or whatever this was in my head. It was a repeated pattern. Okay, so I asked God this weekend to show me why that pattern was there. What was going on with me? Why was that pattern repeating itself? Why was that particular cycle in my life repeating itself over and over and over again? What was that all about? I wanted to find that out this weekend. So I took a step back because this is what we have to do. This is where we have to go into that self-evaluation period, that introspection, to find out what we're doing wrong or where we need to improve or what we need to fix or heal or whatever. So for me, I called it, what do I need to heal, God? What is in my way? What is sabotaging me having the love I desire? What is sabotaging me having that relationship that I know I deserve? What is the problem? So he showed me that as a child, okay, because as a child I had a pretty rough growing up. And I'm not saying this to get anybody to feel sorry for me or to, gain any type of sympathy, because I don't want sympathy. I don't want nobody to cry for me either, Argentina, because that's the energy that's not good for you. You don't want people feeling sorry for you all the time. So I'm not telling y'all this story to get any sympathy or to get anybody to feel sorry. I'm telling this story again because we live by example. So, as a result, when I was born, my mother was 16. Her and my father obviously weren't married. They were just teenagers messing around, had sex, and my mother got pregnant. 16-year-old, born to a 16-year-old in 1965, single teenager. Of course, my dad didn't want a baby. He was a player from the Himalayas, chasing every skirt to the dirt. So he wasn't interested in having no baby. So I got two parents already right off the rip who don't want me. Okay, I'm already in that energy before I'm even born. I can feel the energy of my mother, what's the word I'm looking for? Not regretting, but just in the energy of just not looking forward to me coming. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. And then I was born, my mother had a younger sister, and she was the baby in the family. So when I was born, my grandmother had to take over raising me. So with that being said, it caused a lot of jealousy with this particular aunt. And she made my life a living hell. Everything from molesting me, setting me up for molestation, feeding me dog food, locking me in dark rooms, treating me crazy. I mean, you name it. I went through it for about 16 years of my life. I've got a permanent scar on my eye right here that was done by some stuff that she did to me. So there's permanent damage here. And so for me as a child, I always felt like I had to prove myself to my daddy to be accepted. I had to go the extra mile for my mother, for her to see me, and for her to love me and to give me love and to make me feel worthy to be loved. And so I went through this all my childhood, mostly even my teenage years. So of course I took this behavior into my adult life and felt like I had to do that with my relationships in life. And I'm not talking about just romantic relationships either. I'm talking about all of my relationships, whether they were relationships at work, whether they were relationships with my friends, co-workers, church members, boyfriends, it didn't matter. I was always in that notion of feeling not accepted, feeling like people didn't really want me around, people feeling like people didn't want me in the crowd, like I wasn't good enough, I wasn't accepted. I always came with that energy. It wasn't that other people felt this way. People love being around me. People love being in my energy. They love having my company, but I didn't see that. What I saw was my experience that I had from childhood, which was very, very unwanting and unworthy. Okay, my self-esteem was in the toilet due to the things that I suffered as a child. So I took this same behavior into my relationships, trying to think I could convince people to love me, that I could convince people that I'm amazing, convince people that I know how to make money, that I know how to start businesses, that I'm a good mother, I'm a good friend, I give good advice. And I took that to an extreme to where people started to take advantage of me. They saw where I had the need to be accepted. They saw where I had the need to be wanted and to be loved. So they used this against me. They used this very weakness against me. And so what I realized this weekend was that was something I needed to stop. We get into these relationships. If you have the same issue, then you will find yourself getting into relationships always waiting for somebody to choose you. There's always somebody else in that place where you feel like you should be. And the person that you are trying to get to see you, to love you, there's always somebody else in the way. There's always a third party, or you're the third party, or there's a wife, or there's something, or there's this man's inability to be available for you or to come into this with being in a monogamous relationship. There's always a problem. And this morning, the problem is not them. And this is what we have to do. This is where this message gets real. It's not them. It's not that they have a wife. It's not that they have a third party. It's not any of those things. The problem is that you accepted these people into your life knowing that these situations were there, but thinking all along that you could change it. And you've never been able to change this narrative. You've never been able to change the story. You always end up the loser. You never get the person. They never leave the other person for you, because love doesn't act that way, guys. Okay, if someone loves you, there is nothing that would keep them from you. If someone loves you, you don't have to be waiting for them to tell you that they love you. If someone loves you, they will come and make you a part of their life. They will make that very well known to you that you are who they want, that you are who they see themselves with. And if they don't do that, it's because they don't want you. They don't see a life with you. And that is that hamster wheel that we keep getting on and riding it over and over again and thinking that this time we're going to be able to make the person love us. This time we're going to be able to use whatever we got to get them to leave the other person or walk over to you. It doesn't work that way, babies. It doesn't work that way, okay? Because love doesn't take convincing. Love doesn't take a person leaving another person to love you. That is not called love. That's called toxicity. And we get ourselves caught up in the fantasy of being able to be with these people because we get all caught up and we give them everything. We loyal. They can be out there cheating on us, have 100 different women or 100 different men, and yet we're sitting there being loyal. We're waiting. We're saving ourselves. Oh, I'm not going to have sex. I'm not going to date nobody. Even though they're doing that, I'm going to be loyal. I'm going to show them how loyal I am. I'm going to show them how much a good wife I could be. And they have no respect for that, y'all. They have absolutely no respect for that because they looking at you like you a fool. You know that I'm a player, but yet you saving yourself for me? Y'all, and this is why I stopped doing tarot card readings on my channel. I know a lot of y'all are disappointed about that and upset that I don't do that anymore, but I found that there was an addiction for a lot of people. A lot of people are addicted to tarot cards, and especially women who are in this energy that I'm talking about. Y'all get on YouTube and y'all watch all of these messages about what he's doing, and then you hear this shit about he's thinking about you, he's coming back, he feels bad about hurting you. But did he tell you that, or did YouTube tell you that? Okay, because if he didn't tell you that, then you have no right to be accepting that as your truth. And this is what happens as women. We're so desperate and so caught up in this hurt and this emotional trauma that we bring, is that we get caught up in the waiting game. And when you look up, it could be 2, 3, 4 years and you're still waiting on somebody to choose you. When the person that needs to choose you is you. You need to choose you. You need to decide to get out that hamster wheel once and for all. By choosing yourself, by choosing to not be in a waiting game, to choosing to not be somebody's option, to choosing not being in a third party situation, choosing not to be the side chick. Okay, you have that choice and you can make those decisions, but we don't because we get caught up. And again, this is why I don't do tarot card readings like that. I still do readings from my loyal clients who I know can handle it. For those who came there to get the message from spirit to see what they need to do to get back on track, because perhaps you fell off track. So you listen to that reading, you get the advice you need, and you let it go. But you're not hanging on to the reading by every word and think that you can't make a move until you pull a card and hear what the cards got to say. That's an addiction. What we have to learn is, what do we need to do to get off the wheel? What changes do we need to make? When we know better, we do better. And when we keep seeing ourselves repeating the same cycles over and over and over again, when you keep having the same situation. And I looked back on my relationships with men. They have been the exact same situations for the last 10 years. I've been in the exact same situation for the last 10 years. The only thing that changed about the men in my life was the names. Because I hadn't changed. I hadn't realized my worth and my value. I kept coming to the table thinking I have to prove myself. I got to show who I can be, what I can achieve, what I can do, how much I can earn, how much I can help, how much I can love, how much I can do for you. I'm not doing none of that anymore, because the person that loves you, you don't have to prove all that. They see all of that in you. You don't have to come to the table proving that you can do anything. You just come to the table. That's all that's necessary. And I know now that I don't have to show nobody nothing that I can do. In fact, you can't even come to my table because I don't have no room for you. My table is full. You're going to have to bring your table. We bump up against mine and we share this space because I don't need anybody to put anything on my table. My table is complete and I said it. People, you have to learn that people are not, you don't have to have people. You put them in your life because they are accessories. They help to make your life better. They blend in with what you already have going on, but they are not necessities where you can't live without them. You can't move. You can't be whole without someone else. When it becomes that point, you know that you've become into a toxic situation. When you feel like you can't move, you can't do something without somebody else, you are in a very toxic, codependent situation. Okay, because relationships are not supposed to be necessities. They're supposed to be accessories. And we got it all messed up. So I'm coming to you to talk to you today specifically about getting off that hamster wheel. Getting off that wheel of no return where you keep having the same situations over and over and over again because you have not graduated. You have not learned the lesson that you needed to learn in that cycle. So you're not given permission to elevate to the next level. Spirit is not letting you elevate and go to the next level because you have not learned the lessons yet. You have not found your value. You have not learned how to stop breaking your own heart. You have not learned how to stop the hamster wheel and get off of it. And it's up to us, y'all. We don't have to be on this hamster wheel. We don't have to be on these repeated patterns. All we have to do is learn how to stop and accept responsibility and realize that, hey, I'm doing this over and over and over again. This is the same situation I had with Harry, with Bob, with Tom, with Tim. The situation is repeating itself. So that doesn't tell me how I should walk away from these relationships and start worrying about what Bob, Tim, Larry, and Paul needs to do. That's telling me that I need to get in the mirror and look at what Sherri Hill needs to do. That's what needs to happen. I don't need to worry about what the other person needs to do because I'll never be able to change that other person. But I do have the power to change me and to see a different perspective for myself. And that's what this is all about. For me to be able to change the narrative for me to be able to have a different result. Because as long as I keep doing the same thing, as long as I keep coming to these relationships being codependent, thinking that I'm still a child and still have to beg for my respect and still have to beg to feel worthy and still have to beg to feel loved and wanted. As long as I carry that energy into my relationships, I'm going to stay on that hamster wheel that will not let me off. And I don't want to be on that wheel anymore. So I am deciding to take responsibility and realize that I am the problem, that I had to realize my worth and realize that anybody, man, woman, or child that gets to come into my energy and share my space is very fortunate. And I don't have to share anything with anybody to prove that worth to them. If they do not recognize my worth and my value, then they are not supposed to be a part of my life. And that was a lesson that I had to learn because I was constantly trying to beg people who were refusing to love me, who were refusing to respect me, refusing to value me. I had to learn how to comfortably let those people go, loving them still, but letting them go because they were not for me. They were not giving me what I needed. And after years and years of giving these people chances and trying to work it out and waiting for them and doing all the things that I needed to do, I finally had to wake up and say, God, I want off this hamster wheel. I want to get off this wheel of no return. I want to stop repeating this lesson. I want to learn what I need to learn here so I can elevate and transform past this part of my life. And that was up to me. I could not get there or get to this place of this mindset by looking at what the other person needed to do, concentrating on how the other person hurt me or what they did to me, because all of this was my fault. Because I drug my emotional baggage of unworthiness, not being wanted, not being loved from my childhood into my adult relationships over and over, constantly doing it, expecting different results, expecting to finally find true love, when the true love I was searching for has been right here the whole time. The moment that I started loving Sherri was the moment that relationships started to change in my life. The type of men that I started to attract became different when I started to attract my own self-love, when I started to realize my own value and my own worth. The type of men changed in my life. They were no longer married. They were no longer in third parties. They were no longer emotionally unavailable, because guess what? I became emotionally available. I became in touch with who I am. I became in touch with my power. I became in touch with my worth. And so now when a man comes into my life, I'm not proving a damn thing except how strong my cutoff game is. That's what I'll show you, because the moment that you come into my life trying to bring me situations that do not serve my highest good, I will cut you off, period. And that's what I should have been doing a long time ago. But I was doing myself a disservice and blaming other people for it and getting mad at other people because I was doing myself a disservice. And I'm coming to you this morning saying, check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you don't want to break your own heart. You don't want to stay stuck on that hamster wheel because you are refusing to accept what is. You are refusing to accept the responsibility of what you need to learn to be able to graduate from that level, to get off that cycle and make it on to the next cycle of your life. It is you that can end those cycles. No one else can do it. I don't care if the other persons change and do everything you want them to do. If you don't change, your life will not change, period. I will continue to draw men who put me in third parties and who are emotionally unavailable and who are married and attached to other women. If I don't start to realize my worth, if I don't start to realize who I am and what I bring to the table, if I don't fall in love with Sherri so deeply that I don't desire to have anybody else to validate me, because I validate me. And anyone else that comes into my world will come in as an accessory and not a necessity. Now, that's number one epiphany that I had. Okay, number two was my epiphany about what's drawing me back from being the millionaire that I should have been a long time ago. I was born to be a millionaire. Okay, I was born to be one. And what has kept me from being one is my own stinking thinking. It's my own stinking thinking. Because again, it comes right back to my worth and my value. Okay, I've been in preparation mode my whole life. I've been in that mode of thinking I got to prove myself. I got to work for free just to show people who I am. I got to go and do this job for this person so they can see how smart I am, how talented I am, how this, how that. How long, Sherri Hill, do you think you need to be in that stage where you're proving yourself? You've overproved yourself. Now you are much better at certain jobs than people who charge 3 times your amount, because these people, they don't care if they're good at the job or not. They feel like this is what they're worth. And I'm charging people what I feel I'm worth, which is keeping me broke, keeping me away from the $1 million that I'm supposed to have, because I don't know my worth. I am afraid to charge what I'm worth. I'm afraid to command the money that I deserve, because I'm still that little girl who's thinking, I got to prove that I'm worthy. I got to prove that I'm good enough to have this job. I got to prove that I'm good enough to fit into this group. And you got to drop that baggage that's got you caught up in this stinking thinking, babies. You got to drop that baggage that's got you caught up in this stinking thinking. And that's what this message is about today. Where are the hamster wheel effects in your life? Where are the hamster wheel circumstances in your life? Are you willing to look at those circumstances today and take responsibility on how you have been stuck there by your own understanding, because you are refusing to accept responsibility? You are refusing to come into grips and accept that it's something that happened to you along the way that's got you stuck in these toxic cycles. And when I say stuck in these toxic cycles, I need for you to understand this morning that cycles that keep repeating themselves are showing you that you have not learned the lessons, and you will not be able to pass and go to the next grade until you learn the lesson here. And you don't get to be 57 like me, where you just learning that you are the problem. If you're in your 20s and your 30s, take advantage of this situation right now and end the cycle repeating for yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need to do to stop the cycle? But some of y'all ain't willing to do that. Some of y'all are so stuck in being a freaking victim that you won't accept responsibility. You will sit right here, right now, listening to me and still find a way to place yourself in the right role, still trying to place yourself in the victim role. We love playing that role, and we should all get a fucking Oscar for it. Because we all play the hell out of it. Okay? Can't nobody outroll us when it comes to playing a victim. But there ain't no winning in being a victim, and I keep telling y'all that. You could be a victim all day, but guess what victims get? They get fucked, bamboozled, and led astray because people are sending pitiful energy toward them. Oh, I feel sorry for so-and-so because she ain't got this and she ain't got that. I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me and talking about me in that way. I want people to be saying, oh my God, look at her. She's doing amazing things. That's great. Even if I'm not going to put out that energy that I'm failing because I don't want the sympathy. Do not cry for me, Argentina. Okay? I should have started off this message this morning saying, can I sing to you? Because I could go on for hours and hours with this message. And I'm so serious. We have got to learn how to accept responsibility and look at where we are causing tower moments, hamster moments, heartbreak in our own life. Because we are in full control of our life, y'all. I had a dream and I've seen things where we're the directors of our own play, y'all. We are directors of our own play. Everything and everybody in your life is being directed by you. So how are you doing in your life? How are you directing your own story? And are you on a repeated cycle that you're refusing to get off of because you're refusing to accept responsibility? You're refusing to see your part in it. You just want to keep blaming everybody else for what's going on instead of you taking responsibility for what you've done. It's time to get out that hamster wheel and say, it's my fault. It's not this person's fault because of what they did. It's my fault because of what I allowed them to do. It's my fault because I didn't take a look at the emotional baggage that I was dragging around with me. And you didn't realize you had excess baggage that was weighing you down and stopping you from being on your journey and on your path that you need to be on. But now that you've heard this message, don't be afraid to take a look at your life and identify the hamster wheel circumstances in your life and get off that hamster wheel. Get off of it. And it ain't nobody else's fault but your own. You can never blame anybody for nothing going on in your life. And some of y'all gonna get mad at me and say, that's because he did this or she did this. It don't matter. It don't matter. It's like, how long did you put up with it? Why did you accept it? Why did you take it? Why were you codependent on this person being codependent on you? Accept your responsibility. That's what I did this weekend. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but it was an amazing wake-up call. It was an amazing wake-up call because never again will I be in any situation, whether it's romantic, business, or anything else, trying to prove myself to people, trying to prove why you should pay me, trying to prove why you should love me, trying to prove why you should be loyal to me. I'm not doing that anymore. If you cannot see that, and you cannot be that authentically in my life, then there is no space or room for you in my world. And this is what I'm asking y'all to do this morning. Be honest with yourself and look at the repeated patterns. Say, you know what? I keep doing this over and over again. This is the thing that's repeating in my life. Now let me go back to my childhood and trace where I may have developed these type of feelings that's hindering me. Let me go back and see where I can let go of this excess baggage. Let me go see how I can get rid of some of this stuff that's weighing me down and costing me. Be honest with yourself this morning about these things. Because when you are, y'all, I can't explain to you how freeing it is, okay? I'm not perfect. I am a work in progress. And as long as I am breathing breath, I'm going to be fixing on Sherri, okay? That's how it works. And people want to say, oh, she thinks she is, she this, she that. I don't give a flying shit about none of that. Because at the end of the day, what I am doing is being real with Sherri. Okay, I'm being real with Sherri. And when things come up in my life that I realize need to be worked on, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to work on Sherri so I can get out of my own way. I'm not going to continue to break my own heart. I'm not going to stay stuck in cycles that I should have graduated from years ago because I'm refusing to accept what is and accept responsibility on how I played a part in the disappointment. I'm willing to do that because that's helping me. That's helping me to learn how to be better, to learn how to be happier, to learn how to live my best life for real. Because I promise y'all, all of these epiphanies and these things that I share with y'all that I've been through, they have really taken burdens off of me. They have really made me feel good about life again. They have really made me want to wake up in the morning and be triumphant and help other people. Because God lifts weights off of you when you surrender your problems to Him and ask Him to help you to get past the hamster wheel circumstances in your life. They are there because He will not let you get out of that cycle until you learned why you got there in the first place. The only way out is to go in, darlings. Okay, that's the only way out. And I'm telling you, I'm not the same person that I was 3 years ago when I started my journey as a mental pain counselor. I'm not the same person. And when you work in mental health, you are always your first client. I was my first client. And everything that God used to heal me, I pass it on to y'all. And I promise you, if you would just take the time to do it, you're going to find that it does free your mind. It frees up your soul. It takes the burdens off of you and allows you to live a better life, to live more peacefully, to be able to sleep at night, to be able to stop hating on other people, to be able to stop being envious of other people. All of that comes from you feeling lack within yourself. That's the only reason why you want to do anything negative to another person is because of a lack that it presents to you within yourself. And I'm asking you today to get off that hamster wheel. Stop repeating the same old cycles over and over and over and over again. Waiting for something different to happen when you keep doing the same thing. You got to learn how to be the change that you seek. So if you are trying to change something in your life, be honest with yourself and see where you are the problem. Be willing to accept responsibility. And we get into arguments and everybody wants to point out their side. Well, I got my side too. Let me show you what you did to me. Be willing to shut the fuck up sometimes, accept responsibility and learn from it. Don't always have the need to show how you was right and the other person was wrong. Be willing to accept your wrongness, forgetting what the other person's role in it is at all, because you have no control over them. The only person you have control over is you. And the sooner we realize that and we stop placing blame on other people or trying to talk about what another person needs to do to heal, to learn, to get better, that ain't our business. And we don't have no time to be focusing on other people. Not with all the stuff we got going on in our own life. We don't have time to worry about what other people are doing. So I'm just asking you this morning, do yourself this favor, because this was one freeing weekend for me to realize that, damn, I'm the reason why I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm the reason why I don't have that perfect partner yet. Because I haven't been in a millionaire's mindset and I haven't been in a lover's mindset. I've been in a mindset of unworthiness, a mindset of not good enough, a mindset of not working out. That's where I've been. And I've changed that this weekend. I changed my narrative to say, okay, that is a cycle that we're going to complete. We're going to complete this cycle this weekend. We're not going to continue to have this experience when it comes to money and finances and romance. We're not going to continue to have this experience. I am in control of that. And you know what's funny, y'all? The moment that I changed, I'm talking about the moment that I gave these releases and told God that I was willing to surrender. I'm willing to accept my part. I'm willing to see why you keep bringing these type of relationships into my life. I'm willing to release every last one of them and become anew. And I'm talking about, y'all, stuff started changing for me immediately. Type of men coming into my life, opportunities when it comes to work coming into my life. These things started to change immediately because I changed. So be the change that you seek and get off the damn hamster wheel today. I hope y'all got this message. I really do. And I really, really hope that y'all, like I said, people, when they look at my channel right now, there's a lot of people out there laughing because they think, oh, she only got 50, 60 people watching her. And guess what? I love it because I wouldn't care if it wasn't but one person watching every morning. This to me is way more healthy and more pleasant with me trying to help you find your power, find the areas in your life that's slowing you down and sabotaging you. I'd much rather have 50 of y'all listening to this than 100,000 of y'all listening to me telling you a lie about how somebody's coming back to get you and you're not ready, or you're going to get all of this money and you're not deserving. I want to help you to get out your way so you can get in the right path and in the right lane and live your best life. That's who I am. So until we get to the point where hundreds of thousands of people get the message and they're ready to change, we'll be right here every morning with the 50 or 60 of us who come here and watch it every morning. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm not going nowhere, okay? Oh, speaking of which, don't forget, tonight is the night. My podcast, my national podcast, starts tonight at 8 p.m. I will put the link in the description box so you can join us. We will be, tonight I'll be joined by Rhea Molly and Lakeisha Council. We're going to be talking about surviving suicide, suicidal thoughts, suicide in your family. It's just going to be talking about suicide all the way around. So if you've been having thoughts of that, or if you know people in your family that you need some help for, please tune in tonight at 8 p.m. We will be on iHeart, Spotify, oh my God, all platforms. Okay, but the link is in the description box. I'll see you there. If you want to be a guest, either on this morning show or on my podcast, The Mental Pain Cafe, which will air every Monday at 8 p.m. Just send me an email. Tell me what you want to talk about, and we'll make it happen. Now, this is your Tease Coach. I love coming here to help you guys transform, elevate, and self-evaluate all your pain away. Now, I'll see you right back here tomorrow morning and see you tonight at 8 p.m. on the podcast. Mwah! I love you. Bye-bye.